Bună ziua. Good day. Welcome to Romania. This is definitely not Germany any longer. Took the flight down yesterday afternoon. Mostly a travel day. Still some good bargains to be had though. This flight via Wizz Air was $21, about 18 euros when I booked it a couple of months ago. I did not purchase a seat. I did not have to purchase luggage, so it was just straight $21. And I got seat 3 Charlie, 3C. So I had an aisle, had an empty middle seat next to me, plenty of leg room, and it was an hour and 40-minute flight from outside of Munich at Memmingen, however the Germans say that airport and city, down to Targu Mures. Don't know a lot about Targu Mures, to be honest with you. I came to Romania for 1 month on the big trip and liked it so much that I stayed for 3. Spent most of my time south of here, well, all my time south of here, in Hunedoara and then Sibiu, before making it over to Brasov and Bucharest. So this time I wanted to kind of come up a little bit further north, and that's what I have done yesterday evening. So I'm here in Targu Mures for a couple of nights, and then moving on to explore a little bit more of Romania. Heading down now to my favorite chain coffee store in all of the country. We have about a 15-minute walk to get there. Come along, let's go explore Targu Mures. Now we got a Lidl on the way to the coffee shop. I can never pass up a Lidl. Let's go explore it. I do like in Europe how you can buy beer normal, or you can buy beer in plastic jugs. Only $1.25 per jug. Boy, what a great apartment building to live in there, with the 5 to go coffee shop right in your basement. Well, I had the large cappuccino, 13 lei. I think that may be the same price, or if it has gone up, maybe it's gone up a single Romanian lei, which is only 20 cents. The Romanian currency is the only one, at least against the US dollar, that hasn't taken a complete dump in the last couple of years. It has only dropped maybe 3%, where like the euro is, I think it's off 11, 12, 13%. So Romania, for someone that uses the US dollar, is probably still offering the best value for your currency exchange. This all looks very new and very modern and very nice. The area I'm staying in is a little bit older, definitely a character neighborhood, but a great deal, still the same. I paid 15 euros per night, about $17.50. All right, we are cruising up towards the center of town. If we can find our way through the maze and jungle of brand new apartment flats. So my little path brought me to the backside of the train station here at Targu Mures, and there is no way to get across other than doing it on your own. There's no pathway or bridge or underground to cut through, and it was the same way, I remember, in Brasov. Or was that Sibiu? No, that was Sibiu, where I stayed. My apartment was on the back side of the train station, and you had a little path up a hill, and you climbed over a little ladder, and then you got about as many tracks as we're going to cross right now to get to the platform. All right, let's get out of here. So this train will go back to Budapest, and that is actually a Hungarian train, the MAV. Budapest Keleti Station. About another 100 meters down this direction, that would have been a much easier path to come across. Well, in a short detour on my way into the city, actually the detour was going to the train station because I realized how close I was. I wanted to see it. But here we have the Kaufland, which if you're from the United States, think of it as a Walmart or a Target. Like from the UK, it might be like a big Tesco, but it's a huge hypermarket here in this strip mall. Also a few more shops down that way. DM is the drugstore from Germany, very popular around Europe. My hunt is going to be for toothpaste and deodorant because I am thin on both of those. Also a KFC if we're so inclined. All right, let's check out the Kaufland, see if we can't find those two items. Oh, a grill too, a Kaufland grill, but it's only 9 o'clock a.m. Absolutely cannot beat Kaufland for the selection, but I started to remember after walking through a few aisles why I kind of stopped shopping there when I was in Romania for a few months a couple years ago. They are much more expensive than other places, although I did get my favorite chocolate milk. I'm going to try the Drogerie Market deodorant, toothpaste, and then head into the city. This little Greek taverna has a 4.9 out of 5 on Google Maps with like 100 reviews. So I have saved that on my map, maybe come back and have lunch. Leaving the shopping center 0 for 2 on toothpaste and deodorant. Nothing on sale there. So I'm going to head around the corner and try to jump on the local public transportation, head down into the city. Save about a half hour of walking as it is starting to heat up a little bit. Going to 85 degrees today. Call it 30 Celsius. Well, after a rather quick bus trip of about 10 minutes, got off to the Revolutionary bus stop. It was 3-way for a one-way ride, which is about 65 cents US. A pretty great deal for public transportation, especially just coming from Germany, or I think German public transportation for a tourist is through the roof expensive. Coming up on the back of the Ascension Church, there's a much better look at it. And then there is a park that runs through the middle of the boulevard that heads back into the city, because I actually went past the city and walking back in. Let's get around to the front side of the Ascension. The Ascension Cathedral dates back to the 1930s, so almost 100 years ago. And while we have to wait for the green guy to go across the road here, that is the Catholic Church of St. John the Baptist, sitting right across from the Ascension Cathedral. Don't know what year that one was formed. So on the door of the St. John the Baptist Church, 1728 to 1764 looks like the construction years, and then a pair of reconstructions, 1933 to 35, 97 to 99. I don't speak Romanian or read Romanian, but I think that's correct. Looking back up towards the Ascension Church, kind of interesting that the languages that kind of give you information outside the church, none of it is in English, which maybe goes to talk a little bit about the level of tourism here in Targu Mures. So maybe not much coming from outside of Romania and the surrounding area. It was in Romanian, of course, Hungarian and German, which is not unusual, as all three were leaders of this area in Transylvania over the previous years and centuries. Matter of fact, I think it was up until World War II, this was under Hungarian control. And now the population is split like 48% Romanian and 47% Hungarian. As a matter of fact, as you walk around the city, you see, just like we did at the church, or I did at the church, signs in 3 different languages. But interesting that none of it is in English, which I'm fine with, because sometimes that's the best part of travel, is trying to figure out what you're looking at. I gotta say, Targu Mures is pretty walkable. Everything is right next to each other. National Theater sits just off the main thoroughfare that we just saw the 2 churches at. You got the Continental Hotel that direction, and then this nice little plaza out front leading back to the park that runs down the middle of the boulevard, which is the direction I'm heading back. And a tower right here in the square. Had to walk over to this side so you can see that it's 10:30 a.m. Looking back up towards the church, you can see the gardens here in the middle, and this just runs concurrently along with the boulevard here. You go on this side and walk through the shade. Like a festival, maybe a music festival, I'm not certain. One thing that is kind of unique so far about Targu Mures that I did not see in other areas of Romania, and I see a lot of the women wear the traditional Romanian dress, from young people all the way up to babushkas. For 10:30, it is warm, warm, warm. Getting a little bit closer towards the area where I got dropped off last night from the airport. It was a 10-lay shuttle ride in from the airport, about 12 miles, maybe 10 miles, 12 miles. Drops you off right here. 10-lay is just north of $2, about €2. End up here at the statue, 1580 to 1629. There is some history here. So this is exactly where I got dropped off by the shuttle van last night, meaning it's exactly 25 minutes walk to my rented apartment. Did not realize this, but the TI, the Tourist Information Center, right across the street. Nice garden area here that fronts to a council building. So this is I guess like a city council type place, but very ornate looking design, with the tiles below the clock tower there and up on the roof. Wow, how do we luck out with that blue sky yet again today? Seems like every time I make a city video, I get that gorgeous blue sky. Lovely little park area here. Some gardens looking back out into the city. Might be time to go find some hydration. And I don't mean a beer, because it's 10:30. But literally walking around, I'm already at 7 kilometers on the day, 4 miles. And I always do that on the early part of these trips. I forget to drink water. All right, let's see if we can't find a little shopette somewhere. Maybe another coffee. Now, got off the main drag and decided to go uphill. Not sure what's up here. Still thinking maybe a coffee. Looks like plenty of places to sit outside and choose from. Let's get out of the road. So that was the University District, and it is rammed crowded right now. Tried to stop in 2 different coffee spots and they were out the door. Must be in between classes right now. I think there's another one down here. We'll give it a try. There is a fortress a 15-minute walk away back behind and to the right of the Ascension Church that we visited at the beginning. So I think we've seen enough churches and enough buildings. Let's hike up and see the fortress. Oh, just a few minutes walk and we got our first glimpse of it. It's not too bad of a hike, it doesn't look like. I thought it was going to be way uphill, but this looks like it'll be a pretty gradual incline and not a very far roll to get up there. Look at that blue sky. A quick walking climb gets us into the fortress. Dates back to the 1600s. If I read correctly, we're actually up on the fortress walls. And these extend, I think, for the entire perimeter. Amazing how this is like right connected to the city. I mean, from the churches at the beginning of the video, 5 minutes walk at the very most. And there's no tourists up here. There is a feline. The fortress feline. This is kind of reminiscent of a lot of places in Romania that I've been to. Romania itself doesn't have the tourism of, say, you know, Germany and France and places like that, but it is getting a lot more tourism. But I don't think people are going beyond the capital and maybe some of the larger cities, because there's a lot of cool things. All right, we'll continue around. That was a one-way on the wall here. I gotta go back down the stairs. Wow, these boards sound and feel like they're from the 1700s. Yeah, somebody put out a water dish. Well, I found where all the tourists are at the fortress. They're all sitting at the cafe. Do a little walk through. If the menu's correct, they have Pilsner Urquell on draft for about $4. So hey, maybe later on, if we find our way back this direction, we can have a gelato and a Pilsner. This is kind of a neat idea. Some food trucks set up. We're in the middle of the week, so maybe more so on the weekend. Those will be in action. And I've decided that since we're up the hill, we're going to continue exploring up the hill. What a leafy boulevard this is. All right, we'll come back if we find anything. Kind of interesting here, just climbing the hill. This rather large gate, of course, is locked. Going up some stairs there into another hill. I have no idea what this was, or will become again. I did see a sign for the zoo pointing up this direction, but I think it's quite a bit further. No Google Maps for me this afternoon. I'm just going wherever. My ultimate goal is to try to find a view looking back down into the city. There is a river here, coincidentally by a similar name, the Mures River. And I've been on the Mures River before when I did a little tour of Samaria way back that other time, 2.5 years ago. All right, we'll continue to climb upward. Look at all this stuff falling. Glad I took the allergy pills this morning. These homes are just incredibly large. That bell means it's noon, if you hear it in the background. Whew. Go to Transylvania in May, they said. Beat the summer heat. 85 degrees, 29 in May. This has just been a straight uphill for about a kilometer. And a little more to go. But I think it should top out here relatively soon. We'll see if we find a view. Now we have made some progress up the hill. Way down that curve a minute ago is where I said it should top out pretty soon. Oh no. It's still just been straight up. Now I kind of want to see it through. Well, it was almost 2 kilometers, about 1.25 miles of straight uphill. Man, I should have looked at Google Maps. But we did finish it. And you get rewarded. This is Park Cornesti. So kind of a neat idea. Along this little promenade, they have a little ice cream stand. A few things are open today, a few things are not, as we are in the middle of the week. That was a good climb. I was not expecting that. I think my hope now, popcorn there, hope now is to try to find a place with a view over the city. Some language. Very Hungarian, I believe. Candies and caramels. Yeah, so this kind of goes along a ways, and just reading a little bit about the park. I guess there's hiking trails and things such as that that kind of go back and around. Ooh, the old chimney cakes, the Tredelniks. 35 for a chimney cake now. That is over €7. I can't believe it's gotten that expensive. And that's even down in the city too. I think I saw €6 down there. Put it back 5 years ago, and I remember buying one in Budapest for just over $2, I think. If that's 20 lei, that's a little bit more. Okay, that's a bigger one, I guess. And maybe there's just different sizes to them. All right, well, let's wrap up from here. Let's see if we can find a view over the city, and then probably head back into the city and get a little bit of a lunch. I'm thinking Greek taverna. The taverna sounds pretty good. I don't see a beer tent up here. Oh, I made it back to the zoo. I was going to go ask the old man collecting trash out front if he knew where a view over the city was, and I saw 3 teenagers sitting there off their bicycles. I'm like, hey, better chance they're going to speak English than the old guy. So I said, Buenos dias. Anybody speak English? And he goes, oh yeah, definitely. What's up? So I explained to him what I'm looking for, a view over the city. He told me to go down this path and look for the restaurant and go that way. So let's continue. I am hell-bent on finding a view. What a nice park though. I'm the only one that walked up here, I believe. I saw taxis, I saw Bolts, Ubers, and a bus. A little mini train station here too. Be bear aware. After 10 p.m., it is forbidden to use the running and bicycle paths. How about that? Let's look for the view. What a cool scene. You got the like a picnic shelter area, and we got the train station here. And then there's like a kids play park back that way, and no sign of any bears. walking back down a different route. Just as steep, but a little bit more natural. Kind of hoping this might give a better view. Although it looks like we're going to be down pretty quick. The view from the cafe wasn't really back into Targu Mures like I was hoping for, but in the kid's defense, he said you'll get a view back over some villages. He did not necessarily tell me that it was going to be Targu Mures, so fair play to him. Hope there's some bees buzzing in there. Let's hope this is not bear country through here. This might be my best angle of looking back down into Targu Mures. Kind of blocked by some of the housing, but right in the foreground you can see the two churches and the fortress. That off in the distance, area that I don't think looks a little bit more industrial, but straight ahead is kind of the old part of the city that we've explored this afternoon and morning. All right, continuing the slow descent. It's slower going down than it was coming up. Pilsner 12 in Romania. Count me a fan.